Well, it's not for the faint-hearted, but proponents of sustainable food say if you eat meat, you should know exactly where it comes from. Guests attending a Melbourne Food Festival dinner last night were confronted with the reality of how meat makes it onto a plate, as Cheryl Hall discovered.
You can see some rabbits down there.
There's one running up the hill just there. There's one that's just propped. It's about taking an accurate shot.
How accurate are you?
I back myself hard. I spend a lot of time shooting tin cans. It's very important to get it right because you don't want the little guys to suffer. So that's a direct hit.
This is so-called ethical hunting, knowing where your meat comes from and how it was killed.
The reality is I'm a meat eater, and in order to do that, animals die.
Matt Fowles was a Melbourne lawyer. He now combines hunting and winemaking at Avenel in Victoria's Strathbogie Ranges.
So that's a nice little young rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
One shot.
So what will you do with that one?
Well, we'll skin it up and actually, with a little rabbit like this, you might braise it whole. Once it's been braising for a long time, maybe break it down and mix it through a pasta or something like that.
So you're confident he didn't feel any pain?
I am confident that he was dead straight away.
Have you been called a redneck?
I have been called a redneck. I've been called all sorts of things. A bogan with a law degree, but doesn't mean you're not a bogan or something like that. So it's all water off a duck's back. Actually, I could sleep at night knowing the way I do it, and very comfortable with these choices and that I do it responsibly.
It's a concept supported by Sustainable Table, a not-for-profit organisation that believes sustainable food is crucial to a sustainable environment.
I think it's a controversial topic, and I think when faced with killing an animal to eat, people do get uncomfortable with it. I personally do as well, but I think if you're going to be a meat eater, it's really good to confront that, and if you're not comfortable watching an animal die, then maybe you should challenge why you're eating meat in the first place.
Sustainable Table's event at this year's Melbourne Food Festival, Are You Game?, was sold out. Guests were challenged to think about where their food comes from and what happens to it along the way.
It's impressive. I know we're going to eat it, but poor rabbit. In a bar, in a restaurant, the last thing you expect is a dead rabbit like that, skin on.
I just thought, holy cow, there is a dead animal on the table over there. And then, rest in peace, Thumper.
Anyone feeling queasy?
Cassie Duncan says people will be much more shocked if they knew exactly what happens to farm animals.
Around 500 million animals are raised in factory farms each year in Australia, and most of those never see the light of day.
So again, a nice clean shot. It's a much bigger, different species, and my personal favourite game meat. Much richer, much more like venison. Dark meat, and just very distinctive flavour. It's not quite like any other meat. That is a really great shot. You know, it's lights out straight away.
The Fowles family regularly eats wild rabbit and hare from their vineyard and believes it's good for the environment.
The prize cut is the fillet, so these beautiful loins, the back strap.
They were so confident of changing public attitudes, they developed a wine especially for game and named it Ladies Who Shoot Their Lunch.
We were advised that we would get bad reaction to it, but I'm pleased to say I think when people have an opportunity to sort of slow down and talk to you about it, the reaction's only been positive.
The wine has won several awards and encouraged them to keep selling their message.
Do you think people should face up to where their meat comes from?
Absolutely, and I think that's actually how I got onto this journey. And I tell you, the other thing I've learnt doing this is when you go to the trouble of going out there and getting it yourself and preparing it yourself, butchering it, you do not waste a scrap. You know, the brand very closely reflects my wife and I, our lifestyle, our family's lifestyle. So, you know, I don't know that a big company has that lifestyle, and to that end it wouldn't be genuine. I'm also pretty convinced they wouldn't take the risk on something like that.